Going to our commodity space now, not far from that, diesel is a critical fuel for powering alternative energy. The national grid, which generated about 6,000 megawatts 2 years ago in Nigeria, is touching to about 2,300. The price of diesel has spiked in recent times. Now it's more than 700 naira for a diesel, and that's more than 242% since 2000. And well, we can only imagine the impact it's having on business operations. So Sheyo Mediora is analyst with Financial Derivatives Company, digs into this to tell us what's really going on. Hello, Sheyo. So can anything at all halt this surge in the price of diesel?
Okay, yes. So what we should know is that compared to PMS, which is somewhat regulated, diesel is fully deregulated, and that is the primary reason we have seen this sharp increase in diesel prices from even early this year to what it currently is. It has almost tripled during the same period. Now, we should know that crude oil prices as well have increased sharply, and it's basically due to not any fundamentals really, but to the raging conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which basically spiked worries about scarcity and subsequently people front-loading and stockpiling. So of course that drove up the prices of crude oil and subsequently for diesel, but we didn't see that effect on PMS, primarily because it's not deregulated compared to diesel. Another thing which might have also driven up the price of diesel recently in Nigeria also is the power supply. We are aware of the current situation in the country, and this subsequently will have seen maybe an increase in demand from businesses, and subsequently would have also had an impact on that. Another thing is our currency weakening, Forex, Nigeria's currency weakening basically, and all of these little things will have had an impact on the price of diesel. And subsequently, these three reasons are primarily the things that have driven up the price of diesel in recent time.
So the NBS released inflation just a couple of days ago. We saw that headline inflation increased to 15.7 for February, and energy cost is a major component of that. Do you see this moderating? I mean, because you talked about the oil price, and we do know that after it hits, the 100, and now it's stabilizing to 190. Do we see this moderating and having a spillover effect in Nigeria?
Well, ultimately, it's going to depend on how quickly these transitory events subside or go away, basically, because, I mean, the price of oil is not driven. The recent spike, the recent movement, volatility we have seen in oil prices hasn't been driven by any fundamentals. It's basically been as a result of the raging conflict, again, as between Russia and Ukraine, and people front-loading and getting in front. And of course, nobody wants to run out of their primary energy needs, basically. So everybody just front-loading and hedging against the potential scarcity of the product. So everybody just front-loading. So whether or not we are going to see a reversal is going to be dependent on how soon these transitory events go away. And whether or not we are going to see a spillover effect into Nigeria, well, we are already seeing the effects, because we know that landing costs for some of these products have increased substantially, and this has consequently played a part in the recent price of diesel and petrol that we have seen, the scarcity of PMS recently, and subsequently the increase in the price of diesel. So yes, that's basically what is happening right now.
And how do we see this impacting on the issue of infrastructural development and integration of like the 5G technology?
Yeah, we know for a fact that telcos have recently, telcos like MTN and Airtel recently obtained licenses, 5G licenses, also PSB licenses. So these are new developments in the telco space. And subsequently, these things are supposed to drive innovation, supposed to drive infrastructure in those spaces. But without power, really, there's only so much infrastructure that you can do on a micro level. So it goes back to us working on the macros and getting those macros right. Because the thing is, without electricity, you can't even power your phones, you can't power your devices. And there's only so much technology can solve when all these things are not in place. So we really need to go back to the macro, solve those problems so that we can really benefit from things like the 5G licenses that telcos like Airtel and MTN are bringing into the market soon.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Shay. We do hope that those problems are solved so that we can move forward in our infrastructure development. Shay Medira, analyst with Financial Derivatives Company. Thank you so much for your thoughts. And with that, I say thank you so much to you, our viewers, for being a part of this Thursday edition of Business Incorporated. We have the final one coming up tomorrow. Do join us then. I'm Ini John Mekwa.